This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 4th day of November in the year 2019. Here is what we're tracking tonight. Today was the last day to make claims to have changes made to your name and particulars on the voters list, and to effect change of address and to get registered if you have not been registered. The Guyana Elections Commission today reported that since the claims and objections period started back in October, there have been 5,636 new registrants, with over 14,000 transfers and over 2,500 corrections and changes. There have also been 500 objections. The objections period will run until the 11th of this month. Appearing on the 94.1 FM morning show today, GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward reminded that objections could be made for several reasons.
It is actually objections to any person who you may suspect might not be qualified to be included in that list. So, for example, an underage person, you see a name listed there that you think might not be qualified to be on that official list of electors. This is the opportunity to object to that. If you think that somebody, for some reason, they no longer live at that address, they're dead, and so on, this is the opportunity you have to make an objection.
Ms. Ward further explained that the objections will have to be made by persons who are living in the same electoral district where they want to make the objection. She said any elector could make an objection and not just political parties.
Basically, it's any elector can submit an objection. So some persons tend to say, okay, I'll leave that up to the political parties to submit the objections and so on. But any elector can submit an objection. However, the name that names you're objecting to on that list must be on the same divisional list where your name is listed. Secondly, accredited scrutineers of political parties with monitoring oversight for respective registration division, the registration area. Those individuals can submit objections within that respective division. So once you fall within any of those two categories, you can submit objections to the registration officer. Of course, you must provide the evidence to support your claim, because there is going to be an investigation process. There is going to be a process for hearing. And so while objections, I must say, while objections will close on the 11th of November, the registration officers have an additional week, which is until the 18th of November, to ensure they tidy up in terms of hearing all those objections and to determine whether they're carried or they're not carried.
The political parties spent a great part of the weekend trying to get persons who have not been registered before to register for the first time. Elections will take place on the 2nd of March 2020. More news coming up in just a moment.
Tired of long lines? Register with MyGTT at mygtt.co.gy. That's mygtt.co.gy to view and pay your bills from anywhere. Enter to win an Amazon gift card worth $25 or a bounty voucher worth 5,000 Guyana dollars when you sign up today. GTT, do more.
Enter the GBTI Quick Cash Christmas promotion and make it a Christmas to remember. You get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. Plus, enter for a chance to win fabulous items for your home. One complete 7-foot granite top base kitchen cabinet, one sectional suite, one 5-piece dinette set, and complimentary baskets of goodies. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes.
Conducting a claims and objections exercise from the 1st of October 2019. During this exercise, objections to the inclusion of the name of anyone who is suspected not to have met the eligibility requirements for inclusion in the PLE could be made only by an elector who is listed in the same divisional list in which the person being objected to is listed, or accredited scrutineers of political parties, providing any such scrutineer has monitoring responsibilities for the division in which the person being objected to is listed. Objections can be tendered to the registration officer of the registration area from the 1st of October 2019 to the 11th of November 2019. You must present the relevant original documents in order for the transaction to be completed. Don't delay. Visit the nearest GCOM registration office today. For more information, visit our website at www.gcom.org.gy. Follow GCOM on Facebook at Guyana Elections Commission. Contact us on 225-0277-9 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.org.gy or the nearest GCOM registration office.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. Heavy rainfall left flooded streets behind in a number of areas across the city this morning. But by late afternoon, most of the water receded, as the City Council reported that all of its sluices and pumps were in working condition. The Civil Defense Commission visited a number of areas affected by the floodwaters, especially in the downtown areas, as part of its rapid assessment of the rainfall. A flood warning issued by the Hydromet Office remains in effect for the rest of today and possibly tomorrow, as the forecast shows more heavy rainfall heading Guyana's way. Only last week, several communities were swamped with floodwaters owing to above normal high tides. Now it appears as though the rainy season has started. In the world of politics right now, the Alliance for Change is hoping to wrap up all negotiations with its coalition partner, the APNU, by this coming weekend. The two sides restarted their renegotiation of the Cummingsburg Accord this past weekend, and in a statement, the AFC said it held a national executive meeting over the weekend also, and that meeting provided guidance to assist the negotiating team in finalizing agreement on the remaining outstanding items of the Cummingsburg Accord. The AFC's executive committee wants a new accord agreed to and signed by the 10th of November. The Alliance for Change appears to be holding firm to its position that its leader, Kemraj Ramjatan, should be the prime ministerial candidate for the elections. The president has been trying to brush aside that particular issue by pointing out that the two sides ought to be focusing on policies and programs rather than personalities. He has also said he is quite comfortable with the work that the incumbent Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu has been doing. A food alert this evening, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, NARI, today announced a temporary restriction on the importation of romaine lettuce. According to NARI, the move comes on the heels of an outbreak of the E. coli bacteria in the lettuce in the United States. Most strains of E. coli are not harmful, but are part of the healthful bacterial flora in the human gut. However, some types can cause illness in humans, including diarrhea, abdominal pain, fever, and sometimes vomiting. NARI said it will not be issuing import permits and will be recalling all permits issued within the last 3 months for romaine lettuce owing to the outbreak of E. coli. The agency said the restriction will be removed when Guyana is notified by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration that there is no threat to the romaine lettuce. The Guyana Police Force has issued a directive to all of its drivers that sirens must only be used in cases of emergency and not for ordinary duties or simply traversing. Traffic Chief Lyndon Isles addressed the issue this morning at a seminar for police drivers, and he admitted that there have been reports of the police abusing the use of the sirens. The traffic chief also cautioned the force's drivers that they must adhere to speed limits and remain in their respective lanes even while performing escort services. The police, he said, are not above the law, as he reminded them that speed limits are erected throughout the country and force drivers must set the example for the public to follow. Mr. Isles said members of the Guyana Police Force all have to work collectively to safeguard the image of the force. He said the force is currently developing new and advanced driving programs to enhance rank skills in areas of remedial, tactical, and escort driving. The idea is for police drivers to operate as defensive drivers. Drivers who are found to be inadequate during the training program will be reassigned. The seminar came in the wake of a commission of inquiry into a recent accident involving a police vehicle that claimed the lives of 5 persons, including the driver of the police car, which was speeding with sirens blazing, although it was not escorting anyone or responding to any emergency. Police investigators in Suriname have arrested the 2 Guyanese fishermen who are wanted in connection with the murders of 4 Guyanese fishermen at sea. Wanted bulletins were issued last week by the Guyana Police Force for 22-year-old Anot Budraj of Belvedere Quarantine and 21-year-old O'Brien Fraser of Ebersham Village Quarantine. The 2 were held in Suriname over this past weekend and are likely to be handed over to local authorities this week to face murder charges here in Guyana. 3 other men have already been charged and remanded to jail in connection with the same murders. Fishermen Vishnu Siram, Marvin Tamsar, Lamar Petri, and Ajay Kisun were attacked and killed at sea during a fishing trip. The bodies of 2 of the murdered fishermen have since been recovered, while the other 2 are still missing. Let's tell you now that as part of the Small Business Bureau's initiative to develop young entrepreneurs, grants of $100,000 each were handed over today to 2 students of the Guyana Industrial Training Center to assist them in starting their small business. The initiative is part of the Bureau's School Entrepreneurship Program, which was launched 2 years ago. The 2 students receiving the grants are Jamil Jacobs and Tariq Collymore. They were selected through a vetting process after all of the students were asked to prepare a business proposal. As part of the program also, the 2 students will be provided with a space in the compound of the GITC to set up their small business. They will also be provided with mentoring services. Research and Marketing Officer of the Small Business Bureau, Shemaine Headley, said the agency saw it fit to take the program to the school following a number of meetings about what might be needed to assist the young entrepreneurs in training.
There are lots of children, there are lots of young adolescents who are about to leave school or either are in school that have business ideas. But most times the complaint is no one is there to support those ideas. No one is going to give them the necessary training or even the money to start those businesses. And that is why the Small Business Bureau is capitalizing on that opportunity to ensure that our youth have access to financing to start their businesses.
The administrator of the GITC, Dexter Cornett, offered thanks on behalf of the school. He said the school will ensure the 2 students are successful with their small business ventures. The 2 students intend to develop their small businesses in the areas of furniture repair and mechanics. Across the Region is coming up next.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Guyana, the moment you've been waiting for is here. It's the Ministry of Education's Guyana Teachers Union 59th National School Cycling, Swimming and Track and Field Championships on November 17th through 22. Come see top student athletes and teachers from 15 sporting districts compete in intense rivalry. Cycling at the National Park, Georgetown. Swimming at the National Aquatic Center, Liliendal, November 18. And on November 19 through 22, the Track and Field at the National Track and Field Center, Leonora. Action starts 9:30. The National Championships where stars are born. Powered by Malta Supreme, Hits and Jams Entertainment, and NCN.
A man named Stan, whose business needed a new plan. Christmas was coming, this much was true. He needed some help, but didn't know what to do. Then fast as a flash, 3 helpers did come from Republic Bank. They came with some One had low interest rates, one reduced equity, one with approval so quick and easy. Now Stan is the man and his business is booming. Christmas is good and he is winning. Reach more customers and boost your business with a Republic Small Business Loan today.
The Guyana Elections Commission would be conducting a claims and objections exercise from the 1st of October 2019. Persons have until the 4th of November 2019 to make a claim to be on the list if you will be 18 years or older by the 31st of December 2019, a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or registration, a citizen of a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for a period of no less than 1 year preceding the 31st of December 2019, persons who require changes or corrections to their particulars as stated on the preliminary list of electors, such as names, occupations, and transfers in relation to their addresses, can also do same during the claims and objections period. You must present the relevant original documents in order for the transaction to be completed. Don't delay. Visit the nearest GCOM registration office today. For more information, visit our website at www.gcom.org.gy. Follow GCOM on Facebook at Guyana Elections Commission. Contact us on 225-0277-9 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.org.gy or the nearest GCOM registration office.
Across the region right now, the government of the Bahamas will be establishing an independent and non-political body to help fund housing and building repairs for the Abaco and Grand Bahama residents impacted by Hurricane Dorian. Speaking during a recent press conference, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said that the Bahamas National Recovery and Reconstruction Trust Fund will provide vulnerable residents with up to $10,000 in grant money per household to assist families with building supplies, labor, or some combination of both. He said the fund will receive applications from Bahamians in need and work with pre-selected contractors and project managers to pre-approve applications, inspect houses, disburse funds directly to contractors or building suppliers, and receive necessary government approvals. In neighboring Venezuela, Venezuela has expelled El Salvador's diplomats in a tit-for-tat response after El Salvador on Saturday told Venezuelan diplomats to leave. The El Salvadorians have up to 48 hours to leave the country. El Salvador's government does not recognize Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro as legitimate. It said it would receive a new Venezuelan diplomatic team that represented the country's opposition leader, Juan Guaido. Mr. Maduro and Mr. Guaido's leader of the opposition-controlled National Assembly are embroiled in a power struggle. Mr. Guaido declared himself the interim president back in January, saying that the elections which brought Mr. Maduro to power for a second term were fraudulent. In a statement, the Venezuelan authorities accused El Salvador of breathing oxygen into the failing U.S. strategy of intervention and economic blockade against the people of Venezuela. And finally tonight, international news. At least 3 people were shot dead when protesters attacked the Iranian consulate in the Iraqi holy city of Karbala on Sunday night. The protesters, who demanded that Iran stop interfering in Iraq's internal affairs, climbed the consulate walls. Reports say the security forces opened fire, but another account says unknown gunmen were responsible. There are also reports that security forces fired live rounds at protesters gathered in Baghdad earlier today. Mass demonstrations against Iraq's government have continued despite a plea from the country's prime minister. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.